This is a Toshiba Satellite Pro A300 laptop. I don't know if it works, but we're going to find out in this video. And hopefully it works. I've got a multi-adapter, power adapter connected here. And let's try the power button. We've got lights here, battery light, and the power connected 1.5 watts showing on the meter over there. So let's switch it on if we can and see if anything happens. So I'm pressing the button, this light's flashing, and then nothing happens. It sort of switches off straight away. So let's try removing the battery. So here we've got Satellite Pro A300 C2C system unit. So maybe that's a Core 2 Duo perhaps. Oh wait, we've got a T5870 2G, 2 gigs of RAM, 250 gig hard drive, 15-inch widescreen, and some other bits there. So let's try removing the battery and see if we can get it to switch on with just the power connected. Okay, so I've got the power is connected, no battery because it's not in there anymore. Let's press the power button and nothing, it switches off. So I'll try holding the power button and see if that does anything. No. Let's have a look if it's got memory and if we can see anything obvious underneath. So we'll first have a look in here and hopefully we'll find the memory section or the memory slots here. And it's possible that, you know, these become corroded or water damaged and might need cleaning. But there's a little bit of dirt on there, so we could give that a clean. But it doesn't look too bad. And it's a 2 GB stick, so we could add another one and double up to 4 GB. I've used some electrical contact cleaner to clean those contacts. And we may as well have a look if we've got a drive in here. There's another compartment here. I'm not sure why there are 2 compartments. So that's an empty secondary drive bay, but the actual connection isn't on the motherboard. So we'll have a look in here. And we've got a drive disconnected. Oh no, we've got empty. There's no drive in there. So before I put in anything in there, I want to see if I can actually get this to switch on. But so let's try again. Maybe it doesn't switch on if there's nothing in here, but it should still switch on and then just say there's no drive in there. So I'm connecting the power again. And I've got the light here. I'm going to try switching it on. No. I think this might just be dead. We've got no beeps. It just switches off straight away. So my suspicion is that there's some kind of power problem with this laptop. And just to confirm that this isn't a problem, I'm just going to grab a different Toshiba laptop and see if that works. So I've got this Toshiba laptop. This one I've looked at and it says it reboots, but it's got a good screen. Let's just see what happens. So we've got the same down here. Press the power button and it actually switches on. So this is an example of a laptop that works with this power connector. And this is what's in this one. So I cut up the memory on this. And I think I've got two of these laptops that are pretty much identical. This one seems to have a few problems from what I can remember, but the other one that works has a sort of inverted screen, so I need to move the screen from here to the other one so that I've got a complete working system. Let's just try this one and put a bootable USB drive in. So I can boot from this USB, and let's just pick one of these. Which one was the quickest at loading? I think Anti-X was one of the quickest to load that I've used on these kind of devices. Let's go for legacy and normal boot. That doesn't seem to have worked, so I'm going to try booting with a different USB stick. I'm not really having much luck with any of these Linux ISOs. I think they're all 64-bit, and I might need to be using a 32-bit. I'll just double check the processor on this. We've got Willis joining us to see what's happening. I've got MX Linux 23.5386, so this should be the 32-bit version. Let's see if this works. Alt F1, see the boot process. I don't think this is working. Okay, let's go back to basics with this one. Check the memory. Watch out, little cat. Whoa. And see if it's got a drive in here. So we've got 2 sticks RAM. And 1 gig PC2. That looks clean. This could do with a little bit of a clean. So I've cleaned that and put that back in, and I'll run a mem test to see if there's any errors with the memory. Whoops. We should be able to run a memory test with one of these Linux boot ISOs, and I'm pressing F12 to get to the boot manager. And we've got memory test here. Mem test 86 4.3.7. This is a processor here, Core 2 Duo T5800. So this is a dual core processor with 2 GHz, and it is a 64-bit processor, so we should be able to run 64-bit versions of Linux as far as I'm aware. So let's just see if there's any memory problems. So this is a good starting point. We're still running mem test. It all looks good so far. We're getting closer to the end. Okay, so that has passed the test. So let's reboot and try booting into Linux again and see what happens. See if we get anywhere now that we've cleaned the memory. And I'm going to go for Zorin, because why not? I should have probably put the verbose mode on so I could see what's happening. Okay, so I've booted from a USB drive that is just Zorin, it's not Ventoy, and I've put it in verbose mode so perhaps we can see what's happening. And this is also a slightly older version of Zorin, I think. So, oh, it's just switched off. Just completely switched off then. I'm going to stop trying to boot from USB drives, and I'm going to put in an SSD and see what happens with that. So I've got an SSD that's got Windows 10 on. I'm going to pull the power out. I'm going to put this in here so that we can try and boot from this. It is missing the caddy, but it should be fine for now. And let's see what happens when we switch it on this time. Okay, so that is interesting. It's not really what you want to see. Let's see if we get the same to an external display. Yep, we're getting the same to the external display. So I think this laptop is having some issues, so I think we'll move on from this one. We'll try and fix the other one of these that I've got that has a problem with the screen, which I think is an actual screen problem rather than a hardware problem. So let's swap that over. Okay, so here we go. Here's another one. Same model, same memory, etc. Let's pull the power out of that one. And I'll take the SSD out of this, we'll put it in here, we'll try and speed up the process a little bit. So we've taken the SSD out, we're now putting it into this one. It should click into place. Okay, so we've got an external display showing up. We're not getting the internal one. And not actually getting anything else by the looks of things. Okay, it's starting to boot into Windows from the SSD. And now at this stage. And we're in Windows. Well, we're at the user screen, but can you see what's going on here? Basically, this screen is inverted. And I think this actual screen is faulty, or the cable's faulty. You can see we've got an inverted screen. We've got core temp, which is useful just to see what's going on with the processor cooling. And yeah, so hopefully if I take the screen out of this one, put it into this one, we might get a fully functioning laptop. So I guess there's no time like the present to actually start doing that. So I'll just shut this down before I start taking this apart. Hopefully it's relatively straightforward, but you never really know until you start doing it. You can see the inverted screen again. And I'm probably going to have to take the whole thing apart actually to get to the hinges down here. Yeah, and there's a lot of screws, and I need to do this twice, once with this one and also with this one, so I can get the screen out of here. It's quite a time consuming project, and I don't know if there's any kind of shortcuts to this process. Okay, I've just spotted something interesting. The screws around the screen. Maybe it is possible to take this screen off so that we can take the screen out without having to take the actual base apart. So I've taken out the 4 screws, and I should be able to pry this away from the back of the screen. Okay, so I've managed to get this off. This was quite tricky down here at the bottom around these bits here where the hinges. The only kind of danger of replacing this screen and not the cable is that it could still be the cable that's faulty, but hopefully it's just the actual screen, and replacing it will fix it. So let's unscrew this to here, and I think we've got some down here as well. And these are shorter than the screws that were holding the frame in. And then the last screw. falls away. And this is still attached to this hinge, so we've got various screws holding the screen into this frame. So I've got this cable to disconnect, pull out, and then it's sellotaped at the bottom here, and then there's another cable here for the backlight, and I think I can just unplug that, and then I should be able to unscrew this to take the screen out of the frame. And there's two here, and I think we've got 2 or 3 on either side to unscrew. And these are the tiny little screws that are used. Okay, so I've undone the 3 screws at each side, and I can actually just pull this away, so I don't need to remove these 2 screws at the top. I can just leave this on, and then that saves me a little bit of time. This is the panel number, model number LG panel by the looks of things. Yep, LG display. And we've got another sticker over here, 17-inch WXGA plus. So I now need to get this out of the other laptop, put it in here, and then see if that actually works. So I'll move this to one side. And then repeat the process with this one. Okay, I've got the bezel off. Next, these screws. Undone these screws. This bit is now loose. We can unplug this cable, which is taped in place. And unplug this bit here. Then undo these side screws. Okay, we've got the screen. These are the model number, etc. Let's move this bad laptop out of the way. And try the screen we've just removed in this one. So it should sort of slide in here, and we should be able to connect this cable. Stick that down, stick this down, and plug this into here. Is that in? Yep, I think so. So let's just try it, rather than put all the screws back in and waste time doing that. Let's actually try, plug it in, see if it works. Luckily this bit only goes in one way round. You can't put that in the wrong way round. Let's just balance this there. Plug the power in. Switch it on, see if it works. That's looking pretty good. We should be able to boot into Windows. Yep, and so that the colour's looking good there. And yeah, the colour's looking good there. So I just need to put all the screws back in, and then we've got a working laptop. So that's great. Just kind of get some laptops that weren't working or weren't working properly and get one working laptop out of two bad ones. And there was another bad laptop, but to be able to put something together so we've got a working laptop, that's really good to see. And so yeah, that is probably where I'll end the video, just because I'm running out of time. But as you can see, we've got a working laptop due to swapping the screens over. If you found this interesting, leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe, and see you in another video. Thanks. Bye. And here we are, a working laptop. Just change the display so we've got a more colourful background. There we go. I just need to put in a different drive, install some kind of operating system, and it should be good to go. Let me know what operating system you put on this. It's got 2 GB of RAM. It could be upgraded to 4 if I can find enough DDR2 sticks of RAM, but I might leave that for another video. But yeah, once again, thanks for watching, and see you in another video. Bye.